That way at least there.
This is Stephen and Liam here, and we're going to be reviewing. We've just been to see two films in this one night.
Yes.
And that's Men in Black 3, which is just an idea we had after the main event, which is Prometheus.
The Alien prequel.
Prometheus, to begin with, I saw it on the Friday, and then I came to see it again with Stephen, and it's one of those movies that you really have to see twice to really fully appreciate it.
Indeed. My first opinion of it was just wow. I mean, effects were brilliant. We finally found out what the space jockey was, and nothing really continuity involved, but hopefully that'll be for the sequel.
Yeah, I mean, the film does definitely end on a cliffhanger. Fuck it, we're just going to have spoilers and we'll just put a warning. Yes.
If you've not seen the spoilers we're going to put on before that we start talking, this is now your warning. We're going to say spoilers, so if you don't want to know anything about what happens, about certain, well, 8-legged animals that might appear in the movie, then you might not want to listen any further. Right.
Well, anyway, to start things off, we get this absolutely beautifully filmed zoom in on what appears to be Earth, and then we stop at this waterfall, and this creature walks along. And he resembles a human, but he's evidently not. He's got a palish skin.
Yes.
And he takes his...
Think about vampire, bald, but less gothic-y weird.
Okay, and in fact, we'll just get a picture. The picture should be appearing now.
And there it was.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so that's what he looks like. That is... and then this creature takes this cup and drinks it.
And then slowly starts to turn black from his white ethnic look and starts to disintegrate, falling into the waterfall and becoming part of its circle of life.
And then the title appears, Prometheus.
Indeed. To which then we move on to an excavation site in Scotland. Bonnie, Scotland.
Hey.
There's one character there that comes from Scotland which we all hate, but we'll come to that in a minute.
Okay, so first of all we get Noomi Rapace chipping away a wall. Now, Stephen's not really familiar with her, but I am a big Noomi Rapace fan. I love the Swedish Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. It's an incredible film, and she's a great actress, and she really shines in this film, even though some of her co-members are quite awful.
Yes.
She is in a relationship with this guy, and they're working on this archaeology site together, and they discover these pictograms in the walls that link her me to our creation, and they're all pointing to these series of planets, and they realise this is linked to our creation, and they find out how to reach these planets by utilising the fact that there's a sun similar to ours, and they track the planet down. Now, the planet in the film is sadly not LV-426, which is the planet in Alien, but it's actually LV-2023.
Continuity loss Mark 1.
So Ridley didn't exactly do it perfectly, but I think that's what he was going for. Like he said, he did state that this was not a prequel as such. It exists in the same universe. But it does have...
yes.
If
you look carefully throughout the film, you will spot bits and pieces that you think, oh yeah, that I recognise that from this bit, or oh, so that's where that comes from. I mean, there was one part that I didn't get that Liam got, which was, in a giant headroom.
But the original so when the film did, there is you can see the link quite blatantly. So anyway, you just skip the excavation part, and then they're on the space travel ship Prometheus, and we're introduced to the android David, who is a synthetic. Now, synthetics have appeared in the series before. For example, Bishop in Aliens, or
best character ever. Well, apart from Ripley.
But so we have this Bishop, and the film begins to mimic 2001: A Space Odyssey, actually, with the design of the ship.
Oh yeah.
And the fact that he's moving, the fact that most of you see David walking around
on his own.
on his own, you know, he's
because
doing
the crew's in
stasis sleep, yeah.
stasis sleep, so he's on his own. So
and he's
that probably explains half of his actions, doesn't it? You know, being on his own for so long has made him a bit like the computer.
Michael Fassbender is,
2001.
but no, it's not actually that. But yeah, I'll explain in a minute. Michael Fassbender is an excellent an excellent actor, and I loved him in this film. He really did nail the emotionless android, which. To be honest, Lance Henriksen actually did kind of show emotion in Aliens, from what I remember. But anyway, I do really like Michael Fassbender. He just the whole film you can tell this guy's in, you know, you can just tell he's a robot. So it goes on, and Michael.
Yeah, we get introduced to the crew. We've got the main girl and her excavation boyfriend.
Our name's Elizabeth Shaw in this film.
Elizabeth Shaw. Hopefully a nod, actually, and I've just come to think of it, to Doctor Who companion Elizabeth Shaw as well. So there's 2 Elizabeth Shaws in the world. Hopefully that's a wee nod to Doctor Who British Sci-Fi.
Possibly, but then again, you never know where anything comes
probably
from.
just random. What's a good posh sounding name? Elizabeth Shaw. Yeah.
But the film goes on to show you that they're on their way. They've been travelling for 2 years, and so we were introduced to all the various members of the crew. And to be quite fair, this is when it starts to get a bit disappointing.
Yes.
Most of them
only about. Let me see. There's about how many?
3 or 4 of them. They're actually interesting.
Yeah.
There's 17 on the ship, and most of them are bland.
Yeah. 17 characters, and only about 3 or 4 of them are characters that you actually want to know about or actually care about.
And those would be Elizabeth. To an extent, her boyfriend Holloway. What's his first name again?
I have no idea. Holloway.
Well, anyway, our boyfriend
David.
David,
course, and what was her face? Blondie.
Vickers.
Vickers.
And the captain of Prometheus.
Oh yes. So there's 5.
Sorry, the pilot actually. The ship doesn't have a captain.
Well, pilot, captain, whatever.
Yeah, who is actually a really good character, and his 2. But there is other character, for instance, I'll make exceptions. For instance, his 2 companions in flying the ship don't really need a story, and you do like them.
Yeah. They're more for comedy relief. They have this great gag throughout the whole thing where they've made a bet with each other, you know, about what they're going to find, what their trip's about, what they're there for.
I mean, I never found it that. I didn't actually laugh too much at it, but they were in, there was nothing.
Well, no, it wasn't a laugh at. It wasn't a laugh out loud. They're talking about their bet again. But it's just something. Oh, that's nice. They're still talking about getting each other's money off each other.
And of course, for some reason, continuing this whole sci-fi thing, every currency seems to be credits.
Yes, that's a bit odd.
Anyway, that's kind of straying away.
Yes.
So overall, they move into the caverns, and we won't reveal what it actually is at this point. But basically, right now, we'll just refer to it as the caverns, and so they're wandering around here, shining their torches about, and they stumble across. No, they go in, and the geologist on the ship, who's another bland character, who for some reason takes a little bitch fit in a couple of minutes from now. Throws up these red things referred to as what was it, puppies, dogs?
Yeah, he calls them puppies and then howls at them. Throws them to the air.
And I can't remember what the purpose of them is, but it howls for some reason when they discover.
They're to scan out the room, aren't they?
Yeah,
they keep flying around. They keep flying along the corridors, and they make a digital map for the pilot to look.
Oh
through.
yes,
that's what they were doing.
Yeah, but then you find out that of course David's not quite on the agenda.
Yes, David starts fiddling with these symbols on the walls, alien symbols.
Because in preparation, he's basically spent most of his time studying ancient various languages.
So the conglomeration of all the languages of Earth hopefully means that he can understand these languages.
Oh, we forgot to mention, of course, before they go out, they do get a mission briefing, and you do see Guy Pearce as Peter Wayland, keeping this Wayland-Yutani theme, and that's quite an interesting scene. But he's basically claiming that at this point he will be dead, because it's a recording 2 years prior to the expedition. When they're in basically, David activates a door that takes them into this big throne room with the giant head. You've all seen it.
Oh no, but before that, he activates this hologram which shows the space jockeys,
which in this film are referred to as the engineers.
Yes.
But we will just refer to them as the space jockeys for people who have not seen the film.
Yes, space jockeys, and they seem to be hurtling along this corridor, Now it looks maybe like they're going on a nice morning jog just to get some exercise or doing a military run. But then one of the holograms that seems to be lagging behind stumbles and falls on the floor and gets garroted by a falling door.
Decapitated. Garroted is when they get strangled.
Alright, well.
Decapitated by a door.
And they find the body still there, just still, not as fresh.
Still preserved though. It's actually in remarkably good condition for something that's been decapitated.
They estimate it's been dead for what, about 2,000 years. And David, still fiddling with the symbols, opens the door to reveal the head in a chamber with another big head.
Full of pods. Now, I'll just go and get it.
Oh, yes. We have props.
Now, you may be thinking of this kind of egg, maybe. But no, these do not appear in the film. Just get that clear now. These do not appear in Prometheus.
Yes, we do not see any of the aliens. We do not get any references to Ripley, or anything of the future films.
So those eggs do not appear. No. Instead, we get.
But they're similar in the fact that they do house something very nasty, but they're stone vases.
Yes, and they seem to ooze this black goo stuff. That now. David disappears from the group and is specifically told not to touch anything by Elizabeth. Specifically told not to touch anything, but of course.
What does he do? He goes and touches stuff. That sounds so wrong.
He fiddles with it and takes away one of them with him. So they take this head and they bag it up. But also, before we move on to the next bit, they discover a mural that actually resembles a Xeno. Now he didn't notice this.
Yes.
But it is a mural, and if you look directly in the centre, it does resemble a Xeno.
Which is the alien.
Yeah, a xenomorph, as they were called in the films. If you do not know that, that is the alien.
Yes.
I don't know if there's a picture on this creature. This creature.
I didn't know what they were called either. I just thought they were called the alien.
Yeah, they are that. They don't actually. They don't get named until Aliens, and I don't know if they're continued that name through the horrible sequels after Aliens. Sorry, I'm not.
He doesn't like Aliens 3 and 4.
Well, 3's okay, and 4. Oh, anyway, it doesn't matter. That's not the point.
Yes,
the first two are masterpiece classics.
Yeah, anyway, so David's run off with one of the pods,
and the captain and Vickers and so on discover that a storm is coming in the direction of the ship, getting ready to basically engulf them.
And so most of the gang manage to get back on the ship before it happens, except for what Elizabeth is. Oh, we forgot to mention before they open the door, the geologist and another character is completely pointless, whose name I've even forgotten because he's just so. And I think he was only put in there for a comedy effect because
they have this sort of relationship.
There's a wee sort of gay relationship going on thing there.
Well, I didn't really get that, but he did. So
well. It looked to me like he was sort of like, going up and saying, "Hiya, my name's,"
Anyway,
just trying to get a bit.
And he doesn't. He's wanting to be friendly, but they end up becoming friendly because what happens? They decide to split away. He basically, for some reason, I don't know why, but takes this sort of bitch fit. I like rocks. Clearly, you don't care about rocks. You clearly care about giant dead bodies, and I have nothing to put forward in the giant dead body arena. And he screams it, and it echoes. And I just thought that's totally pointless and unneeded. And the geologist and his little friend.
So they piss off, but get lost.
Well, they're escaping from the storm, but that's for later on. So anyway, these people travelling forward. Sorry, we do break it up a bit because we'll remember something as we're going on with the story.
Yes.